The thing that makes a man truly powerful is his faith. Faith, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Good afternoon, everybody. Corey here. Today is Wednesday the 29th, and right now it is 3:26 in the afternoon, and it is pretty warm outside. For those of you who live out here in the West, you know what I'm talking about, especially since it just hit summer. Okay, I'm sweating just sitting here. Okay, but today we're going over chapter 2 of our lovely book, The Science of Being Great by Wallace D. Wattles, and this one is called Heredity and Opportunity. You are not barred from attaining greatness by heredity, no matter who or what your ancestors may have been or how unlearned or lowly their station. The upward way is open for you. There is no such thing as inheriting a fixed mental position, no matter how small the mental capital we receive from our parents. It may be increased. No man is born incapable of growth. Heredity counts for something. We are born with subconscious mental tendencies, as, for instance, a tendency to melancholy, or cowardice, or to ill temper. But all these subconscious tendencies may be overcome. When the real man awakens and comes forth, he can throw them off very easily. Nothing of this kind need keep you down. If you have inherited undesirable mental tendencies, you can eliminate them and put desirable tendencies in their place. An inherited mental trait is a habit of thought of your father or mother impressed upon your subconscious mind. You can substitute the opposite impression by forming the opposite habit of thought. You can substitute a habit of cheerfulness for a tendency to despondency. You can overcome cowardice or ill temper. Heredity may count for something, too, in an inherited conformation of the skull. There is something in phrenology, if not so much as its exponents claim for it. It is true that the difficult faculties are localized in the brain, and that the power of a faculty depends upon the number of active brain cells in that area. The power of a faculty depends upon the number of active brain cells in the area. Okay, remember the power of attention and concentration. When you're concentrating and focusing, putting your attention on any specific thought, the thought form you have to any type of purpose that you're going for. Okay, remember, you're setting brain cells in motion. Okay, you're forming the circuit within your own brain. So you're forming that tissue within yourself, and you're becoming that thing. We're not barred to any type of heredity whatsoever. You know, like he's saying, we have the ability to grow in any direction that we please. And when the real man awakens, he is able to see that within himself, because he knows that that him and God are one, and that all that the Father is, he has given to us. That is how we are created in his image, and we are not barred to any limitations whatsoever. Okay, the number of active brain cells in the area, remember, as you're setting them in that area, you're increasing the amount of brain cells that works towards that specific function. A faculty whose brain is large and is likely to act with more power than one whose cranial section is small. Hence, persons with certain conformations of the skull show talent as musicians, orators, mechanics, and so on. It has been argued from this that a man's cranial formation must, to a great extent, decide his station in life, but this is an error. It has been found that a small brain section, with many fine and active cells, gives as powerful expression to faculty as a larger brain, with coarser cells. And it has been found that by turning the principle of power into any section of the brain, with the will and purpose to develop that particular talent, the brain cells may be multiplied indefinitely. Any faculty, power, or talent you possess, no matter how small or rudimentary, may be increased. You can multiply the brain cells in this particular area until it acts as powerfully as you wish. It is true that you can act most easily through these faculties that are now most largely developed. You can do, with the least effort, the things which, quote, come naturally, end quote. But it is also true that if you will make the necessary effort, you can develop any talent. You can do what you desire to do and become what you want to be. When you fix upon some ideal and proceed as hereinafter directed, all the power of your being is turned into the faculties required in the realization of that ideal. More blood and nerve force go to the corresponding sections of the brain, and the cells are quickened, increased, and multiplied in number. The proper use of the mind of man will build a brain capable of doing what the mind wants to do. Remember, mind is the energy which manipulates the brain, okay, which controls the brain. Mind is the energy of when you think you're mind is the energy which sets the brain in motion. Okay, when you think, like your phalanges. Okay, I use this example each time. When you want to move your phalanges, you are thinking about it. You're using your mind, and then your brain in turn sends the signal through your muscle fibers with electricity to the motor units, shocking the muscle fibers to cause the contraction. Okay, mind is in control of the brain. The brain does not make the man makes the brain. Your place in life is not fixed by heredity. You are not, nor are you condemned to the lower levels by circumstances or lack of opportunity. The principle of power in man is sufficient for all the requirements of his soul. No possible combination of circumstances can keep him down. If he makes his personal attitude right and determines to rise, the power which formed man and purposed him for growth also controls the circumstances of society, industry, and government, and this power is never divided against itself. So there's only one power, okay, and this power is divided between society, industry, and government, and is never divided against itself. It is still one. The power which is in you is in the things around you, and when you begin to move forward, the things around you will arrange themselves for your advantage. As described in later chapters in this book, man is formed for growth, and all things external were designed to promote his growth. No sooner does a man awaken his soul and enter on the advancing way than he finds that not only is God for him, but nature, society, and his fellow men are for him also. And all things work together for his good, if he obeys the law. Poverty is no bar to greatness, for poverty can always be removed. Martin Luther, as a child, sang in the streets for bread. Linnaeus, the naturalist, had only $40 with which to educate himself. He mended his own shoes and often had to beg meals from his friends. Hugh Miller, apprenticed to a stonemason, began to study geology in a quarry. George Stephenson, inventor of the locomotive engine, and one of the greatest of civil engineers, was a coal miner working in a mine. When he awakened and began to think, James Watt was a sickly child, and was not strong enough to be sent to school. Abraham Lincoln was a poor boy. In each of these cases we see a principle of power in the man, which lifts him above all opposition and adversity. There is a principle of power in you. If you use it and apply it to a certain way, you can overcome all heredity and master all circumstances and conditions and become a great and powerful personality. And so far as we have learned, it is the process of thinking. Okay, thinking is what makes the man. Thinking is how we overcome heredity. Thinking is how we master all circumstances and conditions. It is thinking and how we become great and powerful personalities. Remember, thought is the only activity which the spirit possesses. And as spirit, you are, as awareness, you are all just, as spirit, you are all awareness. Okay, you have a mind and you are living inside of a body. Okay? Now that's the end of Chapter 2 with Heredity and Opportunity by Wallace D. Wattles. And let's start going over Chapter 3, shall we?